Hello everyone, welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Taylor and welcome to my tower. Today's tea time episode will definitely be different than my previous ones because I'm going to be sharing a very personal story. This video I think is really important for women especially, so if you are a man watching this, unless this is for educational purposes for yourself, this video is not for you, so you can go ahead and skip this one. But I feel like it's really important to share my story because if there's another woman my age going through this, or even someone younger, someone older, just anyone who feels like they need a friend in a time like this. And I also think that by sharing my story, even if this isn't something that you're currently going through, I think that you can take preventative measures that way you don't have to go through something like this. The story that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is all about women's breast health and my little cancer scare, essentially. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get on into it.
At tea time, everybody agrees.
So today's tea is one that I actually ordered off of TikTok shop. So this is the Hormone Balance Tea by Remedy and Restore. I looked into this because it had a lot of good reviews and it's really good for fibroids, which is my actual issue. So I'm really excited to try this. And also what I love about this is how natural the ingredients are. So it only has red raspberry, nettle, spearmint, and ginger. So I definitely love that we have no artificial nothing added into this. So let's go ahead and see how it tastes because it smells really good. So I did add a little bit of honey and a packet of stevia because I do like my tea to be sweet, but this is really, really good. I definitely think that I will continue to repurchase this tea because I just love tea. Let's go ahead and get on into my story. So I will just walk you guys through my situation and I'll tell you what I think caused this and how you can prevent this from happening for yourself. So back in December, on December 9th, I had just gotten out of the shower and I was putting on my body lotion like I do every night. And I was just kind of like running my hands down the front of my body, like not doing any kind of self breast exam. And as I was running my hand over my breast, I literally just felt something that was off. It kind of just felt like a round bump is the best way to describe it. And I started like pushing around and I could definitely feel that it was something. So I instantly went to the worst case scenario, as I feel like most women do, especially for something that you've never experienced before. It's a very scary feeling to find something abnormal in your body, and especially something that you know could potentially be cancerous. So, you know, I wasn't initially thinking just, oh, it's probably a cyst. Like my mind instantly went to the worst case scenario because I do have like severe health anxiety. I have generalized anxiety, but a big portion of the anxiety that I feel I can't control is about my health. And so yeah, when I found that, I was just an absolute mess. I found it like kind of late at night. It was probably around like 9 o'clock. So the first thing that I did the following morning was I called my family doctor and I just explained that I needed to come in ASAP. I needed my doctor to feel it and, you know, see how she wanted to proceed. And so they were able to get me a same day appointment and my doctor felt it and she didn't really have much to say besides, I'm going to order you an ultrasound and a mammogram. And I was honestly hoping that I would just go in and she would feel it and know that it was a cyst, that it was nothing that needed to be looked into. But if you are going through something like this, I just want you to know that it is normal for your doctor to do further testing. So my doctor ordered both a mammogram and an ultrasound, but the place I went to only did a ultrasound because they don't do a mammogram unless you're actually diagnosed with cancer or unless you're over the age of 30, which I'm 27 by the way. And so my doctor told me that they would schedule me the appointment and they would call me when they had one. It was actually a couple days later that my doctor called me to tell me where she got me in. And apparently because this happened around the holidays, it is harder to get imaging done for some reason. So I did have to wait exactly a month. So on January 9th, I had my ultrasound. And so honestly, the holidays were a little bit harder for me because it's very hard to just tell your brain to calm down that it's probably nothing. And I'm not the type of person that will go run to Google in a health situation just because I never want to get misled and I don't want to, you know, falsely believe anything. Like I'd rather just directly get my information from my doctors. So I did not look into literally anything, any possibility. And honestly, I think that if I had, I would have made myself feel better because there's a lot of good information out there. But if you're like me and you still don't like to Google, then just try to do your best to stay calm in a situation like this because I feel like staying in a stressful state does nothing but harm to your body. So I tried my best to, you know, go on, be normal, get work done, and just like be normal. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the holidays were really hard and my birthday was the day after my doctor's appointment and I was trying my best to just be normal, but as you could tell from my birthday vlog, I was crying and this is the situation as to why. I just think it's really hard when you don't have answers and you're waiting for answers and the results could vary so widely. Like I didn't know if it was just going to be a cyst and it'd be nothing to worry about, or if it was going to be cancer and at what stage it would be. And so my mind was just racing with all the possibilities. So fast forward to my ultrasound. The ultrasound was fine. fine. It's not anything painful. It's nothing really scary. But I remember just going in there. I'd never had an ultrasound done ever on anything. And so I didn't really know what that process was going to look like. And it was definitely a little bit awkward is the best way I can describe it, because the doctor doesn't say much. She's just using her little probe and taking her pictures. And I was able to see through the reflection of the TV in front of me, her screen. And I remember her taking photos, and there was one photo out of all of them that was pink and the rest of the photos were gray. And so at that point, I really was like, okay, there's something there. And then so the doctor came in after reviewing the photos, and she decided to do her own ultrasound, and she found something of concern. What I have is a cluster of cysts, and then directly behind that is, now I know the answer, is a fibroadenoma, but at that time it was just a dark mass behind the cysts that we didn't know what it was. So they scheduled me for a biopsy as soon as they could, which was exactly a week after that. And so as you can imagine, when I already had the anxiety that I had, and to then have to go and get a biopsy, which you know what you're looking for in a biopsy, I was literally such a mess. And within that week, I found that my anxiety was way worse than I could possibly handle. And so I did have to be prescribed Ativan. And so I took the Ativan just one time, and that was directly before my biopsy appointment. And I just remember how much it really helped me. I genuinely don't think I could have gone through the procedure without the Ativan. And I just want you to know that if you are having health anxiety, talk to your doctor, get prescribed something. And so the Ativan just kind of made me feel a little bit like a zombie. I remember feeling tired. I felt where my panic attacks would have started to set in. I just felt like the medicine literally stopped it. Like I felt myself getting ready to cry, and I was like, wait, I actually don't have to cry anymore. But yeah, I had my biopsy, and I remember being so scared because I'm scared of needles. But genuinely, I think that getting blood drawn was worse than the biopsy. So how it worked was I just went in for my appointment. They brought me back to the room. There was 2 doctors in there, and then there was 2 more that came in after, so there was a total of 4. I just got dressed into the same nightgown that I did for the ultrasound, and so what they did was they first wipe you down with like alcohol, which smelled really bad. I remember like turning my head and just keeping my head that way, and then the doctor will go over with like a purple marker where they're gonna go in, and where my cysts are is directly in the center of all of my tissue, so it's not like on the outside at all. And also I do have very dense breast tissue, which is why I think that this made me more susceptible to this. And then they do the ultrasound, they find the spot they need to go to, and the doctor said, you're just gonna feel this little pinch. It's gonna probably sting like a burn on the inside, but that's gonna be the lidocaine going in and numbing everything. And I remember not loving the feeling, obviously, of the needle going in, but it really was not that bad. The other 2 doctors that were off to the side were just conversing, and they literally asked me if I wanted that. They said, do you want to just talk to us and we'll keep you distracted? I said, yes, please. And so they went in with the lidocaine, and that's really the worst part because that's all I felt. And then after that, they go in and, you know, they extract the cells with the needle, and they also put in a tiny, tiny little piece of titanium. It's smaller than a sesame seed, as like a marker for that spot. So that way for future ultrasounds and mammograms and stuff, they'll know that that spot is not cancerous, or if it is cancer, then they know where exactly to go in for the surgery to get it out. I was in the room for about an hour, but the entire biopsy was less than 10 minutes. I want to say maybe between 7 and 10 minutes. And so afterwards, they put like this little X tape over the incision, which acts as your stitches, and then they put a piece of gauze and like a bigger piece of tape. And honestly, I did not really feel anything even after the biopsy. I was just like waiting for the pain to set in because they told me I could take Tylenol. I did ice as much as I could for the first like 48 hours. I didn't really feel like I needed to. I wasn't swollen, but honestly, it was really not nearly as painful as I thought it was going to be. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say the pain was maybe a 1 or a 2. I think that the mental torture beforehand is the extreme part, and that's the hardest. But overall, do not be scared of a biopsy. I promise you, you are going to be fine. And so now we are over a week past my biopsy. I'm still bruised. I was actually allergic to like the little X tape that they put on me, and so like the marks that I have from the tape are way worse than the actual incision. The scar looks pretty fine. It's very, very small, so I don't know if it's going to be a scar that stays with me. The doctor said that it probably will. It's weird because I literally felt like as soon as I got off the table, I felt like a sense of relief. Like I felt like all the anxiety I had was just lifted, and I would have probably credited that to the Ativan, but I kind of continued to feel that way. And then I was told I would get my results between Monday and Wednesday, and I got the call like literally Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, like the latest possible they could have called. I was very grateful when I picked up the phone and they told me that everything was benign and that the next step I need to do is to go back in 6 months for another ultrasound. At least now I know that I do have dense tissue, and I know that cancer doesn't typically hide behind cysts, and my friend is actually in school to become a doctor, so she was telling me how it is very normal for the cysts to kind of push in with your tissue and just kind of get tangled, and that is what they see. That is the solid mass that they need to look into. It was just a really weird, hard, traumatic experience. I dealt with it in a way that I wanted to just isolate. I didn't really want to talk to anybody. If you're kind of like me and you maybe want to just watch a YouTube video, I'll be your friend. I'll be your shoulder to lean on, but I promise you, no matter what, you're going to be okay. And yeah, I'm just thankful that, you know, I got the answer that I did, and I can basically start putting this behind me. But now let's get into what I think caused this and what I think you can do to prevent it and what I'm going to do to prevent this from happening to me again. So as you guys might remember, I did talk about this on my Instagram stories earlier this year, or last year, I guess. I was dealing with some really bad jaw acne, which honestly I do still struggle with. I do have makeup on, so obviously it's going to look better, but it's mostly along my right jaw. So for me with medication, I am the type of person that only takes 2 ibuprofen the morning of my period or after a very long Disney day if I feel like my body hurts that bad. I really avoid it as much as possible. If there's like a natural route, I'd much rather go that way. I am very much afraid of medication because of side effects, and so it took me honestly probably about 6 months before I was like, okay, I really need to get on an acne medication because it was so bad. Like, I just knew that I needed to seek treatment from my dermatologist. So I went, and my doctor told me, oh, I see that all the time, that's hormonal, I'm going to prescribe you spironolactone. I gave it all the time, and being the nervous Nelly that I am, I asked him what are the side effects, and he said just maybe a little bit of dizziness. Most people don't have any side effects, you'll be fine. And so I started taking that in early September. By December is when I had the cysts. So just to rewind a little bit more, back in June is when I had my annual appointment, and so at that appointment I get my breast check every year, and there was literally nothing. So the fact that from June to December, in just 6 months, I developed a cluster of cysts that I could feel. And so I wasn't really thinking about my acne medication. I was thinking that it was probably caffeine because that is an addiction that I've had for a few years. And it's something that I know can cause cysts, which I've actually mentioned in my 2024 goals that I wanted to kick caffeine because I was afraid of that. And so obviously that's where my mind went, that it must be caffeine.
When I drink too much caffeine, it makes my boobs hurt. And I know that caffeine can definitely cause cysts, especially in your boobs.
And so fast forward back to now, just last weekend when my friend was here, she was looking at my spironolactone on the counter and she said, how long have you been on this? And I said, since September. And she was like, Tail, that's probably making your anxiety so much worse because that's messing with your hormones. Obviously, I knew it was hormonal acne, but I never was thinking like, oh, it's actually messing with my hormones, you know? And so she knew how bad my anxiety has been, and she obviously knows about my health issue. So she was like, honestly, that probably caused the cysts because it's blocking testosterone and overproducing estrogen in your body. And literally overproducing estrogen is what causes fibroids. And so it all just kind of clicked that, oh my God, it was the acne medication. Obviously, I instantly threw it away, stopped taking it. And that is not to say that if you are on spironolactone that you'll have the same issue. I'm literally just sharing my story and the advice that I got from my friend who I really trust. But yeah, I definitely am really focusing on my hormones, which is why I'm having a hormone balance tea. And I also want to show you guys the other products that I'm going to try to regulate my hormones, because I just feel like that is the center of our health, especially as women, because our cycles are usually out of whack. I know pretty much no one that has a very perfect cycle, perfect skin, you know, feels great all the time. I feel like most of us either have like PCOS, you can't sleep right, you have like cystic acne. It's just like there's always probably something out of balance within our hormones. And so that's where I'm going to start my health journey this year, is by trying to regulate myself, because again, if I can regulate my anxiety, if I can regulate my estrogen and testosterone levels and, you know, potentially even shrink these cysts and get rid of them, that's obviously the goal. But if I can get to a point where at least I don't develop any more, I'll be very happy. So yeah, overall, I think that if you are on any kind of medication that is messing with your hormones and you are developing cysts, definitely look into, you know, potentially either getting off of that medication or, you know, just trying to regulate your hormones with your food, with your sleep, with your mental health. Like literally every single thing that we do every day does affect our hormones. So now let me show you guys what I am currently doing to try to regulate my hormones. So obviously, as you know, we have the hormone balance tea, but I have also been taking this every morning and night, and this is called ovasitol by the brand Theralogics, and this is an inositol powder supplement. And so the back of this just says ovasitol is a 100% pure unflavored inositol powder supplement. Each serving provides a blend of myo-inositol and D-churo-inositol in the body's naturally occurring ratio of 40:1. It supports hormone health, promotes healthy ovarian function and egg quality. So I've been taking that for only about 4 days now, so obviously I don't have any results yet, but I'm going to continue to take that. That is a 90-day supply. I will not be bringing that to Asia with me, so I will continue that when I get back. So the ovasitol I ordered off of Amazon, and then I got this from TikTok Shop, which you guys might have seen too, but this is the Nello Supercalm drink mix. And I got this in the raspberry lemonade, and this one I probably shouldn't have ordered because there's honestly some ingredients here that I try to steer away from. I do try to stay away from citric acid and like natural flavors, but it's fine. I have seen so many good results and I just wanted to give it a try. And then besides that, I'm really prioritizing sleep, and moving my body is so important to me now. I make sure that I hit my 10K steps every day. So the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is an app that I'm using to now help me purchase more products in the future that are like safer and better for our hormones especially. So this app is called EWG Healthy Living, and how it works is you can scan products and it will tell you if it has endocrine disrupting ingredients in those products. And so I'm going to be using this for every single thing that I buy in the future, honestly, whether it is a lotion that I'll be putting on my body, skincare, makeup. It will scan for household items and like the toxicity level in them. So I'm just so happy that my friend told me about this app and that I'm now going to be using it all the time for literally every purchase that I make. And so yeah, that is pretty much my entire story. Overall, I just really think that it's so important for women to do routine breast exams. And if you do find something, please don't freak out. I hope that this video was like comforting if you are going through this, because I wish that I had found a video like this. So I hope that it helps somebody else. But just know that no matter what your results are, you have loved ones, you have friends. If you don't have friends, you have a friend in me. I will be here for you. And just stay mentally strong and treat your body good. And that's all we can do. So I hope that you guys found this video helpful, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my story. If you are interested in subscribing, I am a Disney content creator and I will be going to Asia to visit all of the Disney Asia parks next month. So I'm really excited about that. So if you are interested in joining me on that journey, be sure to follow me over on Instagram and subscribe for that. And if you did find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up because it will help other women to find this video, which I think is the most important thing. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you real soon. Bye.